What's going on, fellow Walking Dead fans? Solid Dave Snake here, continuing my month-long Halloween videos here on my YouTube channel. And today, we're going to take a look at The Walking Dead TV Series 9 action figures by McFarlane Toys, Muddy Gravedigger Daryl Dixon action figure. And to be honest, whenever I was first reviewing these Walking Dead TV Series 9 action figures, I skipped this one because it is basically just a re-release of the Walgreens exclusive Gravedigger Daryl Dixon. And I didn't think that the muddy paint job and extra cross accessory warranted another buy for a loose action figure. I did buy one in box for my Mitten box collection, but I found one months later on clearance, so I decided to just buy an extra one to keep loose. But this is basically just a re-release with a different paint scheme and that extra accessory, like I said. But there is a complete story to it. There's a little history behind this action figure and why he was put in TV Series 9. And I will do a little bit of a comparison here after I give this story, but I'm not going to go over this new Daryl's articulation since I already went over it with the previous review. So I'll put a link in the description below to my original review of this Walgreens exclusive Gravedigger Daryl Dixon. So if you want to see the articulation and such, you can go ahead and check that out. But before I get into comparing these two, I want to give you a little history on how this figure came to be. And surprisingly, the color tops, what they are now, are not what they were going to be over a year ago. Back in 2015's SDCC, we got information on what the original color tops were going to be. They showed off the packaging with this 5-inch Muddy Gravedigger Daryl Dixon inside of it. And he did have the shovel and cross accessory, his knife that goes in the sheath, as well as the severed zombie head with spinal cord that ended up coming upscaled with the 7-inch Daryl Dixon action figure. So he was coming with all those accessories, I believe his crossbow as well, and a little bit of a diorama backdrop. So that's originally what the color tops were supposed to be. They were supposed to be the 5-inch Walking Dead action figures with more accessories and a little kind of diorama background, which would have been perfect. McFarlane hit the nail on the head right out of the gate with that idea, and then ended up failing us with what they actually produced, in my opinion. But I think that is how this Daryl Dixon got thrown in TV Series 9. I think they were originally planning on putting him in those original color tops, like how I explained it. I mean, they had the packaging worked out and everything. They had it all on display. It was actually in my video for the SDCC 2015. If you want to go back and check it out, I'll put a link in the description below so you can go ahead and check that out too easily. Where you can see this Daryl Dixon in that color tops packaging that I'm talking about. So I think that they produced a lot more of these, and we're planning on doing them with the color tops, but since they backed out of that idea using the 5-inch with more accessories and a little diorama piece, they just kind of threw them in Series 9. So that's really how this action figure came to be. That's why we got two Muddy Gravedigger Daryl Dixons. So hopefully that gives, or should I say, sheds a little bit of light on this whole situation of why it was released. I know a lot of people were asking questions on why he got re-released like this, so there you go. But since we got him, let me give you a little comparison. Well, before I do the comparison, let me show off the new accessory. And that is the cross. It comes with a little bit of a ground base. And this cross is a separate piece, however, it is glued inside the dirt base here. And it has some nice detail to it. I like the way they did the wood grain. The twine, however, that keeps the boards together is not painted a different color, which that really should have been Painted a little bit of a whiter tone. And I really like that little piece of dirt base that we got. It's not much, but what's there looks good. So it's a cool little accessory. Is it worth picking up the same action figure again? No. If you skipped out on the original Gravedigger Daryl Dixon, then I have to give this figure a high recommend since it comes with more accessories, and I do like the muddy paint job. And not only is he muddy, the new Daryl, but so is his shovel. And I'll pull them up so you can see the difference between shovels. And I do like that dirty, muddy paint job to it. Gives it a totally different look. And while we're here, we might as well start looking at it on the actual figure itself as well. You can see his shoes are pretty much a totally different color because they're covered in the dirt and mud. It's speckled all along his pants. Going up to his thighs. And even on his body. And especially his arms. His actual skin tone looks a couple shades darker. I don't know if they're just meaning that to be the dirt. I don't think so, because you can see the extra patches of dirt. His skin literally is darker, and you can tell on his face as well. Now, where I like the dirt detail the best, besides on the shoes and lower portion of the pants, is on his gloves. Makes his gloves look totally different as well. And you can't make out too much dirt on his back. Down the back of his pants you can. Especially on the lower portions. And can't really tell if the undershirt is meant to be dirty or if it's just a different paint color. Doesn't really look dirty to me. It just looks like a totally different color. So, that's the differences between these two Gravedigger Daryl Dixons. Not too much. Nothing to really get excited over. But if you didn't pick up the original Gravedigger Daryl that came to Walgreens, then I do have to give this Series 9 Muddy Gravedigger Daryl a high recommend. So, alright everyone, I hope this video helped out, especially with a little bit of explanation on how this Daryl came to be. So, alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the review, and stay tuned because I have more Walking Dead reviews coming this October.